This is an exercise that we had done there as well, and it worked wonderfully for us because it immediately brought us into the situation there and have a better understanding what was happening around there. And that's one of the things I try to take you today as a sustainability spokesperson or ambassador. It's been take you a bit to the journey we've been, how the process went to apply for this, to go there, and to come back and reflect on things. And I hope at the end of this presentation, everyone is very enthusiastic about becoming a sustainability ambassador and wants to sign up for the next opportunity if that ever arises. And you also reflect a little bit about your own situation. I will cover these 4 randomly looking pictures, but they are connected in a way, and we'll get to that later on. So if we go back to the summer last year, there was an invitation to sign up for this sustainability program. It's a voluntary task, and you would expect that everyone would sign up for this great opportunity, but I understood that there was only like 33 people that had applied for this out of all the IKEA locations. That was before the transaction, so it's not out of that many people, but it's still hundreds of people, and only 33 did an attempt to do this. And to be honest, it took me a very, very long time to actually apply for this as well myself. I thought, yeah, it looks interesting, but it's about cotton. What do I know about cotton? I'm not even aware what I wear. I never read the label, so. And then I thought, yeah, maybe I should use my weakness in my application and use that as a strength. So my application was like, yeah, I'm an idiot. I don't know anything about this. So maybe it is time to learn and to stop looking away, because it is so easy to look away. And we all do that. And it happens everywhere. So I thought, nah, you know what? I'll stop looking away. Everyone's reading, of course, what's there. So I thought, you know what? It's time to do something about it. And then, well, I was lucky to be one of the 6 team members that got selected for this. And you can see the names here. And we have 3 more of the team in the house here. During that process, we actually discovered that it was about cotton, but we wouldn't learn that much about cotton as we thought, actually. So I'm still at the same level of knowing nothing about cotton. I still wear whatever I wear and not aware. But it made me more aware to become more aware of it. But it's not an easy topic, and that we learned as well. To discover more about cotton, we've been to the cotton fields. We've talked to the farmers, but it's very hard material to trace. You don't know where. Cotton all ends up on a market, and then from there on, no one can trace what's happening with it. So Better Cotton is a wonderful initiative. Look it up on the internet. There's a lot to read about it, but it's very hard to grasp. But I won't give up, because I decided to stop looking away. Well, one of the nice benefits of this program was that we were going on a trip to India. That by itself is already a price you want to sign up for to begin with. So we did, and it was a week, in November, and there was a lot of breaking news during just that week. We were there only for 4 days, and in that 4 days, actually it already started just before we left. We were alarmed and fear from these messages on the internet. There was a smog alarm. There's this air quality index. It goes, here in the Netherlands, it's like between 0 and 50. And then with 50, we begin to get a bit scared because it gets polluted. The index goes up to like 300 or so, because after that, it's really dangerous. The index at this time in Delhi was 999. So all of a sudden, the day before we left, we had to buy these masks. And not just the one that your dentist is wearing, because that wasn't good enough. Had to be of a certain filtering standard as well. It was really amazing, because when we flew into Delhi, it was like landing on a barbecue. It smelled wonderful. It's the smoky air, but we knew it was bad for pollution. It was due to a festival, a light festival, Diwali, where they light so much fireworks, and there was hardly any wind or rain, so it didn't disappear. And on top of that, the farmers are burning their crops because they believe that it's better for the next season to get more out of that. So you think, oh, that was already scary. But the scariest thing obviously came a few days later. When I opened my Facebook, I thought the end of the world had come, because this man was elected as the new president of the US, and everyone, really, on my timeline on Facebook, it was all like, hell broke loose, because, I mean, there was so much fear, and I thought, wow, what a situation is this? And then during the same trip, the Prime Minister in India decided that the two biggest bills they have, the 500 and the 1,000 rupees, would be scrapped. They take it away. And there were 3 hours left before that would happen. Yeah, and we all went to the ATM machine the day before because we had to pay our food, our hotels, and things like that. So we were all with a stack of money, Indian rupees, that were worthless within 3 hours. Yeah, so fear, again, a lot of fear. And all this news was dominating the world, but it wasn't our biggest news. We met people there that made a bigger impression on us, and a very, very positive impression. We've seen hope, and hope in the children that are better educated by projects that were started up by Save the Children. They work with partners there, local partners, and they're doing a great job for educating the people in a so much better way, creating hope from within. They make a change from within the community. I mean, this girl is, she's in a children's group, and they have set up a children's group to identify what the needs, the problems, and the situations of children are. I mean, let's face it, they are the experts. So they ask the children themselves, like, just talk to each other and come up with the problems. Then they have a representative of each of these children groups, and they sit with the child protection group, which is a group of adults that have these children as invitees, and they determine a big part of the agenda, actually, to see what they talk about. And the issues they talk about are not issues like my Game Boy is broken, or it's real issues. They talk about, well, you heard already about, there's a big inequality, especially in gender inequality. Female are not worth a lot, according to a lot of Indian people. It's part of their cultural heritage. There's one thing I had never realized, a term called sex ratio. And as you can see, that for most species, it's a one-on-one equal amount of male and female, which makes sense, I would say. Yeah, why not? In India, it's a completely different situation, and especially on a lot of the rural areas where child or female children are not wanted. And that starts already before birth. India is one of the countries where they do a check before, when they're pregnant. They have the highest rate of checking what the gender is of the baby. because they want to interfere if it is a female. Female are, obviously they are expensive because, they have to give them away for marriage to a boy. And they try to do that as young as possible. So child marriage is something they really support there, because then they get rid of the responsibility. So it's not, they don't think like human being. It's like, it's a thing, and you have to pay dowry to get it, to wed it to a boy in another village, because they never get sent to a boy in their same village that they already knew. And when they are sent away there, they are used for labor. They're actually also used for sex pleasures of some other family members. It could be an uncle, and we're talking about children here, as in 14 years maybe. And that's a really, really serious situation. Well, in India, they also look away. They look away for this problem. They think it doesn't exist. They're in denial. Or it's not important enough, or it is the way they live. It's their history. So, what's wrong with it? That's how we are. And that goes up to like the government, but also a lot of companies that work there. And that's one of the reasons why it's so great that IKEA is starting to build up bigger and bigger there, because we are different. I mean, we are much more about equality than their culture is used to. It will be quite a battle, I would say, because change something from the outside is really hard, and that's also why it's so wonderful to see what Save the Children is doing by communicating, educating from within the communities. Start at a very, very young age. Give them other role models. They do theater plays at schools where they see situations. And when you get that fed at a young age, those things become normal. Because, whatever you see, you get used to, it becomes a bit more normal. And communication, of course, is key. And we all know that it's the key reason for most of the problems in the world is a lack of communication. So, this man, when we talked to the girl you saw earlier, this man was in the neighborhood, and this man made us cry. And with some simple things, actually. We were talking to the girls, and we asked them, what are your role models? And we were sitting like with 3 girls, and all 3 of them had one girl as an example. It was a girl from their village that was now on an international university abroad. And they said, oh, but her father is here. And this man came on the table, and he didn't even know he was going to talk to us, but all of a sudden he sat on the table, and we had a conversation with him, talked about a lot of things. And at a certain point, I asked him the question, what is your dream for your daughter? And he looked at me and was, without thinking about it, he gave the best possible answer you could give. He said, it's not my dream, the dream is hers. And he said that without thinking. I mean, it's a politically correct answer, but it was an answer just straight from his heart. And it touched all of us, including the people from Save the Children that were there. One guy had to walk away because he didn't want to cry in front of us. And it is a simple, simple thing. You think, well, what does it mean? I mean, it's a simple answer. I have a daughter. I think the same. But it wouldn't be as meaningful because I live in a completely different situation than he does. For him, it's a bold statement, actually. He doesn't even realize that it is a bold statement. But he's so different than most of the other men in his village that he is a role model as well. If more people would listen to him, then we would have a beginning of a better world. And then I started to wonder, okay, what is equality? Because, yes, it's easy to say, in India, it's all wrong. No one disagrees, I guess. But then you start to reflect on your own situation. And that only happened when we came back, I have to say, because there were so many impressions. And we're talking about like 4 days being there, from early in the morning till late at night. So it was not a vacation. Let's make that clear. But it was worth every minute of it. And then you think, okay, equality, what is it? How equal do we perceive everything? And then you go to the supermarket and then you pick up a bottle of shampoo for him, for her. It's probably the same. But the one for her is more expensive than the one for him. So we even have gender-based products in our society. And we all think it's normal. So we don't even talk about that. But it is the beginning of inequality. If we start to have things like that, and we just accept it. We look away, we're in denial, so it's there. Is that a good thing? I don't think so. Are we aware of it? Most of the time, not. But that's where it starts, I would say. There's a lot still wrong in our own environment. I mean, we have a glass ceiling still. If men and women do the same job, they get paid differently. And that's also in sports. If we watch a tennis tournament, if a female wins the tournament, she gets half the money than the man wins the same tournament. Why? I mean, we all let that happen because there's no one that says, no, it should be changed. Because it's culturally how we are used to live, and so it's fine. Well, maybe it's not fine. The same applies to lesbian, gay, trans, bi, gender. There's also a lot still to happen. And if we go back to the elected president, I don't know how much hope you can have that it will improve there. But and we even have a local, culturally scary thing. It's called Zwarte Piet. I don't know if everyone knows about that. Every time at the end of the year, there's this whole fuss about a miscommunication, I would say. There's a Dutch tradition to celebrate Sinterklaas, and he has his helpers. They come through the chimney, so they're supposed to be black by the chimney. But someone thought, you know what, it's easier to give him a black face, so I can use my neighbor to play Zwarte Piet, and then my kids won't recognize him. But a black face means something else for people from other cultures. So if we don't understand the other culture, and we don't want to understand, now the pros and the con people, they're fighting each other. They stopped using arguments. They don't communicate at all. And is it racism? I doubt it. It's ignorance. It's looking away. It's not wanting to understand the other side of the people. And that's a solution of everything. And we all stay in our peer group. I mean, when I look at my friend list, I'm shocked how wide my friend list is. Is that a choice? No, it's not a choice. But it happens for some reason. When I look back as a kid, I mean, I lived in a neighborhood where it was a very colorful neighborhood, so I had much more diversity in my friend group than today. But these people are not on my Facebook, and I don't know why. Because if you talk to them, they're really nice people. They're just the same. They have a different background, different cultural heritage, but that's actually more interesting. The more we talk, the more we learn, the more fun it actually is. But there's a lot of things we need to unlearn. And then what's so nice, I mean, to unlearn something, that has to come from within yourself. You have to feel the urge to do that yourself. And that's why it's always hard if Western people have a thing, it's wrong over there, and we know how to fix it. We tell you how to do it. This is best. But suppose it would happen the other way around. People tell us how wrong we are. Or let's say they say, there should be inequality. And they say, come on, that's not what we used. No. You would never want to change unless you learn the reason why you would want to change that. And that's a really beautiful thing how Save the Children works. They have enormous amount of patience. They put a seed and nurture the seed. Make sure that it happens. And everyone, we also were like, yeah, but then there's so much more to do. Yeah. Well, hold on, we're doing step by step, taking small initiatives, and if those are successful, they will spread, and that's where I believe that we can change the world in a better way. I mean, you have to understand, like, the history, and not just your own history, but also other people's history to understand how you can build your future. So, if you ever get the opportunity, again, to apply for this program, you're an idiot if you don't. Because this is the best gift you can get from a company you work for. I mean, I've received many Christmas gifts in this company, and the one was even more beautiful than another one. But a gift like this is unbelievable. And it was sold as a life-changing experience. And then I thought, that sounds like a Telcel commercial. But I would say it is a life-changing experience. It is. Especially when you keep working with the information you had. And what I really liked about this, we didn't see any negativity, but we heard a lot. And also with the game that Emilia showed you earlier, they have made us feel the need and what's happening there, but we only saw hopeful things. And that's the great work they do in a program like that. So if you don't apply because you're afraid to see a lot of misery, don't, because that's not... So my question is, who's next, as in, who will sign up for this next time? And for here, who is next will be Aurelia that will take the presentation from here on. Thank you.